Most people think low self esteem means that they don't like themselves, but that's usually not the real problem. You tell yourself you're going to wake up earlier, exercise, start the project, set the boundary, have the difficult conversation, and then you don't. Eventually, you stop believing in your own words. Eventually, and because of self esteem, may have less to do with how you feel about yourself and more to do with the reputation you have built with yourself over time. And once you see that, a lot of things start making more sense. When I first heard the word self esteem, I used to think it meant this person or myself only has positive things to say, never anything negative to say. That's changed over time. My understanding over these past few years have been it's more so the process of being able to recognize what we can be proud of, what we are ashamed of, but not allowing that to limit where we can be in the future. Recognizing we are not where we want to be. Did that make sense? Recognizing that we are not where we want to be, but we're heading there. Do I view self-esteem as a feeling, a belief, a skill, or something earned? I can see a perspective of all of the above. It's a feeling of self-reliance. Yeah, I know I can get it done. Don't know the specific time, but it'll be accomplished at some point. A belief, knowing that no matter what anybody else says or thinks, I believe, I know with conviction that this is something I'm capable of, a skill. Just like with any skill, it takes practice. So it takes repetition through thick and thin. Your self-esteem will eventually begin to grow. It also depends on what area you want it to grow in. Or is it something earned? Well, it's not given, that's for sure. So how do you earn something for yourself? You show up consistently. You let yourself know that you will be present in the rain or in the sun. And then mentally you know you can rely on yourself. What experiences taught me the most about self-worth? Experiences that have often entailed not feeling enough, potential feelings of worthlessness, sitting back and thinking, experiencing, what did that situation, interaction, experience even mean to me? It made me feel less than. It made me not feel worthy. Did I even want to be worthy or valued in that context? The older I get, the more self-worth is determined by what I deem valuable or worth my time and energy. There's always that perspective, that external pressure of our worth only comes from what others deem to be valuable or worthwhile. Therefore, we judge and measure ourselves on those metrics. So we're always climbing ladders for some external approval instead of our own. And then there's the aspect of what can erode self-esteem. A lot of things. What are some behaviors that have damaged my relationship with myself? behaviors of not choosing myself, going with the flow, not going against the grain, if that's even relevant to this specific example. But these situations where I say yes, but then I really wish I would have said no. I love canceled plans. So getting to that event, that situation, that responsibility or obligation, I always start thinking, oh, I wish I would have been doing this. I wish I would have said no. How does this serve me? But then, of course, you don't want to be all encompassing regarding selfishness of only doing things that serve you. But there's trade-offs. No perfect solution, which needs to be accepted. So balancing what I truly value, and if it overlaps with what other people value and can help others, sure, why not? But if it doesn't overlap, being more assertive with saying no. It's a process. And have I betrayed my values for comfort, approval, or convenience? Who hasn't? Living for the acceptance, the welcome, the approval of others is a survival mechanism. Not wanting to be ostracized or outcast. Therefore, we bury our own preferences to conform to that of the group, going along with the crowd. That cliche quote or something about being a sheep and you're a lion, and a lion doesn't care about the sheep. If you know what you know. And when have I ignored what was right for me? When the temptations of pleasure, comfort, consumption were all around me. And if it's in arm's reach, it's easy to say yes. And then you keep chasing that dopamine. But it didn't have any long-term benefit, no sustainability. A fire that burns bright, but fades out quickly. What excuses did I repeatedly make? Excuses of, this doesn't harm me. I'll be okay. It's what everybody's doing. YOLO. But maybe those excuses were just me not believing in myself, the long-term potential, what I could be, what I could grow into, what I could maintain, what I could build. So it's a lot easier to do what is temporary, feeling like things don't matter at all. And therefore, you come to the conclusion of what's the point of building anything for the future if you don't see anything, if you're not optimistic, if you don't have a clear direction for what your future could hold. And what patterns left me feeling disappointed in myself? Often the patterns that harmed my health, whether that was physical, biological, emotional, mental. Of course, there are some things that are outside of our control, but I feel a large majority of these pains are something that are consequences of our actions that we don't expect would happen or might have some idea that might happen. But that disappointment, it compounds enough. You notice patterns. And when you get that clarity, you're able to act or detach or distance yourself from those same patterns, because that disappointment in yourself, not something that you want it to be remained. You want it to remain. You know what I'm saying. I hope you do. And what parts of myself took the longest to accept? Accepting myself requires being okay with not being accepted by others. Not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And not wanting to be everybody's cup of tea. Because reality is, everybody's not going to be your cup of tea. So why care so much about the approval of others, the fear of being disliked, embracing the courage to be disliked. What does it mean to be whole? Accepting that I'm enough as I am right now. Not allowing things external to me to make me feel less than. Feel like there's something missing that I'm lacking without. Although I do understand the notion of, if you desire something, you're admitting that you lack it, chasing happiness and whatnot. But then also recognizing I am whole enough to know myself, have clarity with my health and my mind, that I can be free to spend my time on worthwhile pursuits that are aligned with my values. And more so recently, it's been values of creation over consumption. And I wish I would have started sooner. Self-esteem isn't built by repeating affirmations you don't believe. It's built by becoming someone you can rely on. Every time you keep a promise, tell yourself the truth, act accordingly with your values, or do something difficult that you know matters, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. The question isn't whether you deserve self-esteem. The question is, what reputation are you building with yourself today? Because whether you realize it or not, you are always watching. And over time, you will believe the evidence. If something resonated with you, consider leaving a comment below and sharing what felt most impactful. To support the channel, you can like, subscribe, and/or share this video with someone who you feel might also benefit. Additional ways to support the channel can be found in the links in the description below. You will also find a link to my website, cravingfreedom.com, where you can access my ebooks. On the website, you can also find descriptions of what to expect from the ebooks. And if you feel ready to commit to your path towards freedom and are seeking in-depth guidance and support, consider applying for one-on-one coaching. Answers to frequently asked questions can also be found on the website. Thank you for your time.